All right, today we're tackling a real gem, the 2006 action thriller, The Detonator. We're going to do a full analytical breakdown, which, let's be honest, is no easy task. So let's dive into this glorious mess and see if we can piece it all together.
And of course, we have to start here. It's the classic action hero line, delivered by our main guy, Sonny Griffith. You've heard it a million times, right? It's basically a guarantee that whatever's about to happen is going to be incredibly complicated, and definitely not his last job.
And that's really the big question, isn't it? It's the engine that drives this entire genre. In a lot of ways, this whole movie is just one long chaotic answer to that exact question. So let's start at the beginning and see how it all plays out.
Okay, first up, the agent and the mission. You know, our story kicks off simply enough. It feels like a standard setup. One agent, one clear objective. What could possibly go wrong?
So let's meet the man of the hour, Sonny Griffith. And just look at this resume. Ex-Army Ranger, ex-CIA, now with Homeland Security. I mean, this guy is the dictionary definition of a lone wolf operative. The perfect hero for, you guessed it, a last job. So what's this supposed final mission? It's a textbook undercover operation. Griffith is in Bucharest, Romania, pretending to be an arms buyer to intercept a huge weapons shipment. On paper, it sounds pretty straightforward.
Now here's where things get weird. The location for this top-secret, high-stakes arms deal, a packed national soccer stadium, during a game. Seriously, even Griffith himself points out how absurd it is. This is our first real sign that normal logic has completely left the building.
Next up, a deal turns deadly. And, big surprise, trying to buy 600 assault rifles in the middle of a screaming crowd doesn't exactly go smoothly. This is the moment where that simple mission just completely flies off the rails.
And man, it breaks down so fast. The negotiation starts, but the second Griffith does something totally reasonable, like asking to see the guns he's about to pay for, the whole thing just implodes. Demetrius starts screaming that he's a cop, and bam, a massive gunfight erupts, and it ends with Griffith getting captured.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up, doesn't it? The last job has failed in the most spectacular way possible. He's now a prisoner, and things are looking really, really bad for him. The crucial question is, how on earth does he get out of this one?
So, on to part 3, the asset and the money. Well, as it turns out, Griffith gets bailed out by his old buddy at the CIA, Agent Shepard. But freedom isn't free. Nope, he's immediately handed a brand new mission, one that makes the first one look like a walk in the park.
So his new gig is basically the worst babysitting job of all time. He's got to escort this witness, Nadia Kamensky, back to the States. But here's the thing. There are just a few red flags. You know, like the fact her husband was just murdered and she was caught at the airport with a bag stuffed full of cash. Minor details.
And this is where the plot really thickens. Nadia's story is that she's just a poor, grieving widow on the run. The truth? Well, the truth is that she killed her husband herself and took off with all the stolen cash. So yeah, she is definitely not the damsel in distress she seems to be.
And what's all the fuss about? This. $30 million. That's how much money is at stake. It was stolen from a major crime lord, and Nadia is the only one who knows the account numbers. So this isn't witness protection anymore. It's a battle for a massive fortune. Any thought of just laying low and playing it safe? Yeah, that goes right out the window. The CIA safe house they're in gets hit by a professional assault team almost immediately. This is a huge deal because it confirms their location was leaked. The threat isn't just outside, it's coming from inside the agency. Okay, Section 4. A conspiracy unravels. That safe house attack completely changes the game. This whole mission has pivoted. It's not just about protecting Nadia anymore. Now it's about hunting for a mole inside the CIA. So that becomes the burning question, right? Who's the leak? How did that assault team know exactly where to find them? Who inside the CIA is working for the bad guys?
And here's the breakdown of how they find him. Agent Shepard, now trusting no one, brings in an outside security contractor. This contractor finds that the intel isn't being hacked, it's being sold. He gets a data disk with the evidence, and it points directly to the top, the CIA station chief, a guy named Flint.
This line from Shepard to Griffith is just perfect. It nails the central conflict of the movie. You've got Griffith, the cowboy who breaks all the rules to get the job done. And then you've got Shepard, a company man who believes in the system,
a system that we now know is totally compromised. And that brings us to the grand finale, the final detonation. So all these different pieces, the money, the mole, the crime lord, our heroes, are all about to collide in one epic showdown. And where does it all go down? Come on, you know where. Another soccer game.
Oh, and just in case a $30 million conspiracy wasn't quite enough for a climax, the movie throws this in. It's called The Razor, and it's a tactical bioweapon filled with enough nerve gas to wipe a city off the map. So suddenly our crime lord is also selling a doomsday device. At a soccer game. Of course he is.
I mean, just look at everybody's to-do list for this finale. It's a beautiful mess. The main bad guy, Bostonescu, wants his money, wants to sell his bioweapon, and he wants his team to win the game. Nadia just wants to save her kidnapped son. Griffith is in full-on hero mode, and Shepard is trying to expose the whole conspiracy. It is a powder keg.
And yet somehow, after all that chaos, everything gets wrapped up in a surprisingly neat little bow. The bad guys are neutralized, the mole is arrested, and the good guys secure Nadia, her son, and all $30 million. I guess you'd have to call that a successful mission.
And we end right back where we started. After surviving everything, the betrayals, the gunfights, the bioweapon at the soccer stadium, Griffith delivers the line one more time. But now, it's just dripping with irony. We all know it's not true. He knows it's not true.
And that's really the final thought, isn't it? In a world this crazy, filled with rogue agents and, doomsday weapons at sporting events, what does a last job even mean? For a guy like Sonny Griffith, it seems less like a finish line and more like a revolving door, a cycle that's really not meant to end. Thanks for joining us for this breakdown.